Trends in truck logistics. Well, joining us today to speak about that, Andy Barrons, Chief Revenue Officer at Clockwork Logistics Systems. Andy, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Thanks, Russell. Great to be here.
Well, I guess we said it at the top of the interview, trends in truck logistics. So let's talk about that. What is it that you're seeing in that all-important space? What are those trends?
Well, I'd say one of the biggest trends is customer experience, improving the delivery experience. We know that customers that have poor experience often will decide to buy from somewhere else later. So the trend I'm seeing is investment in tracking truck movements in terms of the delivery experience, customer surveys to capture level of customer satisfaction, and proof of delivery as well, making sure the product is delivered in good shape, packaging isn't damaged, etc. So a lot of focus on getting that delivery experience right.
You know, when we look at that delivery experience and trying to meet what clearly are heightened customer expectations, oftentimes we see emphasis on things like cost reduction, on quality, on sustainability, etc. Some folks argue that all of that is embedded in the delivery experience, or it should be. What's your view on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of those things are important, and I think the work that's going on right now is to improve that customer delivery interaction. So what we're seeing is more communication between the delivery provider and the end customer. Magic links, for example, to basically indicate, hey, here's your shipment, this is the time of arrival, more accurate and defined time of arrival for the customer, and more choice in terms of where a delivery is made at location. Maybe it's a delivery where an engineer has to be present to build a product. So there's a lot more focus on that communication. It's not just visibility, which I think was 1.0. It's now creating that whole complete experience.
What I think I'm hearing, Andy, is that it's no longer just a matter of customer expectation, but customer demand that seems to be driving many of these trends in truck logistics. Would you agree with that? Does that sound right?
Yes. Yeah. It's becoming the norm to have a good delivery experience and to have good communication about where your delivery is and when it's going to arrive. So I think consumers, with all the investment in trucking, they don't see what's going on sort of behind the curtain. What they're seeing is what's happening on their mobile phone in terms of alerts and, did my delivery actually arrive as promised? And that's, I think, one of the big outcomes of investment in truck logistics for the consumer. And they like it and they want more.
Let's talk about technology then for a moment. Some of that magic that's making everything work. Let's talk about remote managing of inventory, because I know that's something that you're keen about. So walk us through that, just what's going on in that space.
Yeah, so what we're seeing is you have inventory moving through, yes, they're moving through warehouses and typical supply chain infrastructure, but there's a lot of inventory that is being staged, temporarily cross-docked. So full technology systems aren't required to track it. You need technology components that make it easy for the people on the ground to count in, count out, to take pictures of that inventory, and to make sure that it's flowing through all these temporary storage components in the supply chain. And that's, we're seeing demand for technology that is light, very easy to use, that's gathering all this data and then putting it into some kind of central ledger and feeding into the core systems that really, the supply chain runs on today. And that's sort of complementary edge technology is where I think a lot of focus is today.
Let me be somewhat of a contrarian for just a moment. Clearly, a provider needs to have that kind of real-time information, that kind of tracking data. I get that. What about the end consumer? Are they really actually checking in to see where my package is? Is that something that's been adopted widespread by the end consumer? What do you say?
I think that's a great question. I do think people are checking in where their goods are, for sure. I think consumers are also noticing actually inefficiencies in the system. So many people have experienced getting, they got multiple deliveries coming to their residence, to their business. The same truck comes 3 times a day with one of their packages. And I think, consumers will become sensitized to that and say, well, that's inefficient. I'm quite happy to get all my deliveries in one go. And I think that's where there's some evolution within truck logistics. It can be a lot more sustainable, a lot more efficient. There are things that are optimized right now against the goal of speed of delivery, but I definitely see smarter technology that's basically going to say, hey, we can actually bundle these 3 things and bring it to the customer. Similarly, with reverse logistics, I think you could see, hey, do I label and send something back to a distribution center? Or is there going to be technology where I can actually say, hey, I don't need this volume of something, and I put it onto a platform, and somebody just down the road says, I'll take it. So I think you're going to see many more initiatives to make that truck logistics much more sustainable, much more efficient over time.
One can only hope that the end user is in fact that cognizant of the environment and is certainly accenting sustainability. Andy, last question. There must be somebody who's watching us in this video not entirely familiar with Clockwork. So give them a little look-see into the company. Talk to us about the focus of the company, what it is specifically that you are doing there to optimize the operations of your customer base. So what would you say?
Yeah. So our company is called Clockwork Logistics Systems, and our platform we call the Delivery Performance Platform. And our culture is very much being a delivery performance company. So we're helping customers, shippers, third-party logistics providers, really better manage, find technology that better manages their truck logistics. Now that could be developing private marketplaces and digitizing rates and accessorials and making that whole process digital. Or it could be working on delivery communication, so basically the communication between the drivers and the end user. Or it's providing mobile solutions for managing inventory in very remote places, like a wind farm site, for example, where you've got really high valuable equipment moving back and forth from a construction site. And so any complex delivery situation, that's what we work on, and we bring technology to solve tracking, visibility, and feed all that data into core systems.
Well, Andy, that is a great view into a very, very important area. And I'm delighted that you found the time to sit down and speak with us. Thank you.
Much appreciated. Thanks, Russell.
It's Andrew Barrons, Clockwork Logistics Systems, is speaking with us today about very important trends going on in truck logistics. Thanks for watching.